What does SGE mean for SEO? Hello and welcome to the May 2024 edition. In fact, I should say June 2024 edition. That's crept up on us, hasn't it? Of the Majestic SEO panel, where we'll be covering what Google's Search Generative Experience means for SEO and what to do about it. I'm your host, Bain, and joining me today are four wonderful AI for SEO experts. So let's meet them. Let's get me off the screen and let's say hello, first of all, to Rana.
Hi. So this is Rana. I'm a consultant on SEO and local SEO in Switzerland, and I'm a digital marketing expert also in Switzerland and in Europe.
Superb. Thank you for joining us, Rana. And also with us today is Veronika.
Thank you for the invitation.
Hi, my name is Veronika. I'm from Germany and I'm a global SEO lead. So I'm international SEO and I work in digital marketing for 16 years right now.
Lovely. Thanks so much for coming on, Veronika. And also with us is Laurence.
Hi, everyone. My name is Laurence O'Toole. I'm the CEO and founder of Authoritas. We're an SEO software platform that's been building SEO tools since 2009. Suddenly with AI overviews, rank tracking's got sexy again. So yeah, really happy to be talking about this subject again today.
Sounds good. And last but not least is Erik.
Hi there. So I'm Erik. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Zupyak. We do large-scale keyword research and SEO content creation using AI.
Wonderful stuff. Thank you, Erik. Thank you, everyone, for coming along. So to start with, SGE provides AI overview for certain queries. And Laurence, you've got some slides that explains that. So I'm going to share them just now. And Laurence, if you could perhaps just provide an overview of this, then we'll get everyone's comments on it.
Yeah, thanks, David. I thought obviously this is quite new for a lot of people, and especially if you're listening to this in Europe or Australia or watching it and you haven't experienced an AI overview at the top of the search engine, you may wonder what the hell we're all talking about. But Google started its experiment with what it was calling Search Generative Experience back in May 2023. And if you were in the US and a couple of other countries eventually, and you opted into Google Labs and you had a logged in Google account, you could start to see these new results appearing at the top of your search results. And I think we've got an example on the next screen. There's been lots of different types so far. But if David, if you can move on. Yeah, I mean, this is a typical AI overview. And it's a summary that appears at the top of the search results for certain terms, and it's generated by Google's large language model. So it's Gemini. It's a custom version of Gemini that it uses to produce this result. Now, why is this such a big deal? Well, certainly during SGE Labs, this was appearing for lots and lots of queries. And since Google announced its full rollout of what they're now calling AI overviews last month, that this has started to become more commonplace in the US, the UK, and Google's announced it's rolling it out fully now. At the moment, we're only seeing it for logged in users, but when it does appear, it pushes all the organic results, your featured snippets, your top #1 organic results, way down the page. And this is a massive shake up to the SERPs. Certainly my experience been rank tracking since 2009, and in SEO long before that. This is probably the biggest change we've seen in living memory. So if you look at it, we've seen a number of different types of AI answers appear, and there's been what we call 3 types of trigger. So on the right hand side of this screen, if you're watching it, you'll be able to see an auto-generated one. This is where you type a query and Google actually summarizes using its large language model and gives you a full new feature at the top of the SERP. The other one is a sort of a button where it just says get an AI powered overview for this search, and that appears above the normal organic rankings. And the one we're seeing most commonly now is what we call like a show more or a teaser, where you get a little snippet of content from the AI overview and a couple of listings and a show more link, which if you click it expands fully. And certainly our studies, we did a couple of studies during the period when Google had SGE in beta in labs. And in January, we studied over 1,000 e-commerce keywords, and we found that 86.8% of keywords, e-commerce keywords, generated an AI answer. And we did a study on brand terms brand and product terms in March, and it was 91%. Since Google announced its full rollout last month, we're seeing around about 6% of keywords showing AI overviews, and that's data from this week. And 99% of those examples have the show more type of trigger, as in they're partially expanded at the top of the SERP. So that is obviously going to have a big impact on your organic rankings and the traffic you're receiving from search, either positively if you start to rank in these things, or negatively if your number one organic results or featured snippets are pushed down the page. I think the other thing to note in our research as well is that 60% of the URLs that are cited in the new AI overviews aren't ranking in the top 10 organic results. So it's important. It's going to have a big impact. It's just rolling out, and we're not seeing it in all markets yet at all, and we're only still seeing it for logged in Google accounts. But if this becomes mainstream to non-logged in users, then it's going to have a substantial impact on traffic. So it's still early days, and I think Google's being cautious because of the well-publicized, embarrassing, what should we call them, anomalies that have been publicized, like, teaching people to eat rocks and jump off bridges and God knows what else. So yes, so it's early days, but this is something as marketeers, as SEOs, as brand leaders, we should be thinking about right now.
Brilliant. Okay, shall we move on one more slide?
Yeah, I think if you've got one more, and then just an example. On the left, obviously the screenshot is more illustrative, but this was a featured snippet on the left-hand side of the page with AI results off, or SGE off. And then when you click the button or click the show more link, it pushes it right down the page. So what we're seeing, on average, around about 6 or so new URLs are inserted into the top of the page. The AI overviews can appear above or below adverts, but always above the existing organic listings or featured snippets. Google has announced that they are going to now start testing some ads in the AI overview search feature, but I haven't seen that in the wild just yet, but it sounds like they're testing it already. And just by way of, if I could give you one stat to take away if you're listening or watching, the number one organic ranking is pushed down the page by an average of at least 640 pixels. That's based on our study this week, but we have seen it anywhere from 200 to 2,000 plus, depending on the nature of the query. And if you think about a desktop viewport, that's like 2-page scrolls. So you're going from potentially getting traffic to oblivion. So the impact is potentially massive. Hopefully that sets the scene for everyone, and we're all talking about the same kind of, because obviously it's new, and I want to make sure that terminology wise we're all talking about the same thing.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for sharing that, Laurence. In fact, I love the simple phrase AI overviews. It's such a powerful summary of what you can expect from Search Generative Experience, because I think if any marketer hears that phrase, Search Generative Experience, it just doesn't mean anything to people, but it just summarizes actually what you can expect from that and how it may actually impact search results. I'd love to throw it open to see if everyone else has some thoughts on that. Rana, what are your initial thoughts?
Actually, as Laurence has said, it's really one of the most important changes that has touched the SEO area since a while. But hopefully, what we have to do is to adapt with these changes. Like, for example, we have, as also Laurence has said, the results, the collaborator sites that we see in the AI overviews are not mainly from the organic, not on all the time on the top of the organic results. So we should really understand how these websites have arrived at this stage and do the same. So like, for example, in the content that we will be creating, the trend has been, we can say, changed based on that. Like, for example, we have to create some concrete answers to questions, and the trend of having the ultimate guide to this and that should be changed now and on. So instead of having an article of 2,000, 3,000 words, we might have little posts, little blogs that can answer a specific question, like how people will talk to the AI. And it's a continuous work on which we should look all the time on the results that are showing in the AI overviews, so that we can do something similar to them.
So, Rana, in your opinion, then, just going into that specific example, is it not possible to have a lengthy article, 2,000 or 3,000 words, but have different subheadings and navigation that gets you to different sections of that article, and sections of that article answer very specific questions? Or do you think it's much better to optimize for that specific question within its own separate web page?
Now, based on the as we have seen right now, we have both. Like if you are already a well-established website that have a great organic results, you might probably appear in the collaborator sites that we see in the in this AI generated paragraph. But for new brands and brands that are not exactly as strong as we see now, if you want to go into this AI challenge and AI journey, maybe you should now focus more than ever on the long tail keywords and try to answer specific questions, so that you might be appearing in the above. But this doesn't prevent that we have seen many examples in big articles that are showing up, but we have been surprised by some small articles that are answering very cleverly a question by, for example, writing very clear answer that's similar to AI perspective, that are showing from these collaborator sites in the AI area by Google.
So a further question that I want to ask you, Rana, is how do you actually select and decide upon the right keyword phrase to be targeting for AI, the right long tail keyword phrases? But maybe I'm going to park that thought. You could have a think about it, and we'll move on to Veronika. And Veronika,
Okay.
what are your initial thoughts on what Laurence was sharing?
So what I've seen, it's not coming out of the blue, this AI overview. So since years, Google prepare for better content quality, better website, technical websites, faster websites. I think it's also an generation switch. So now the generation Z is growing overall, and they are the native digital natives. And what we see is also they put in more social media posts, for examples. It's not only the website or the articles, it's also social media posts, it's images, it's videos from different platforms. So I think, or how we prepare for it, it's better from this point of view. We create landing pages that tell a whole story with different multimedia content types. And we use this content types for all our platforms we use. For social media, for example, for PPC, for all we can use this multimedia content. And what we have seen, or what we have studied the last years, is the new behavior. For example, since the pandemic, so there was a study from Google and Bain and company that the internet is getting more emotional and interactive. And this is exactly what happens. So, and the AI overview is the start to switch from this new behaviors in the future. And I think if we make fast, easy to navigate, and really interesting with high quality landing pages or websites, then it's not the problem to show up in the AI overviews, but we should think about the multimedia content. So we have seen a lot of images and videos in the AI overviews.
Lovely. Okay, and perhaps I'll come back to you, asking you about how you decide specifically what type of multimedia content to be using for each keyword phrase. But let's move on to Erik now. Erik, what's your initial thoughts?
So I think we're moving closer to what is a good Google experience if you compare it to the old one. So I think, you know, finally we can have like actually a good way of retrieving information, because if you compare it to the pre-AI world, I mean, that wasn't very good if you think about it. So you put all the work on the user to click through 10 blue links and hope that you find the information in these articles. And now we're hopefully, with the help of AI, able to provide better answers to people's queries. So I think it's a very interesting shift. And even though we're seeing these early issues with Google aggregating all sorts of weird things around putting glue on pizza and eating rocks, it's steps towards what I think is the next generation of the search experience. And I'm really keen on that experience, because I don't find the current Google a great experience. I mean, if you try to look for something, you usually have to make your query a bit more stupid, because you can't find exactly what you're looking for. So I often use the example of, I went to Barcelona in April with my family. So we wanted to find something to do with our 3-year-old. So I knew that Google was stupid. I wouldn't find what I was looking for. So I limited my query to things to do in Barcelona with kids. And then I have to trawl through, 20 pages of random information to try and find that information, which I couldn't. But in an AI world, I would have searched for things to do in Barcelona with a 3-year-old boy in April, and it would have given me the relevant results. So I think the moment that people realized, Google isn't stupid anymore, this could cause people to actually go and try and find what they're actually looking for. So our thinking is that this will sort of extend the long tail, and the long tail will be like a long tail. So you would see, search queries moving and shifting to much more niche searches, which will put more pressure on the content creators, but also open up to opportunities to serve these long tail searches. Which also plays into sort of the supply side of content, which I find is fascinating, because I think the only way to address this extended long tail is both by the research happening with AI. There's no way you can trawl through all of these new searches using manual work. So you will have to apply AI to keyword research. And then for content creation, there's no way you can address all of these search queries that are very small in volume with manual content creation. So I think for the next phase of AI content, we're going to see addressing that sort of extended long tail. And I think where we will end up, hopefully end up, my positive, hopeful view of the future is a world where information is more easily retrieved. So I think there's sort of a happy ending to all of this. It's going to get sort of a bumpy ride on the way there, hopefully, but I'm really excited about it.
So, Laurence, do you actually share Erik's view that we're just on a journey at the moment, that Erik has a positive, hopeful view to a certain degree?
Yeah.
Erik also mentioned that...
Yes, no.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Erik, you described it as sort of a better experience or a good experience. I still think what we've got today, even with AI overviews, is antiquated, really. I mean, if you think about the potential of where this is going in terms of multimodal searches, on videos and images, in terms of multiple agents doing things for you, you've seen a taste of that in some of the videos that Google's given away. You've seen things like in one of the Gemini launch videos at the end, it had, I think an example of someone organizing a birthday party for an 8-year-old, and the AI decided that the actual format of the results would lend itself better to some sort of different type of layout, a grid layout. So it sort of wrote the Flutter code to create the interface on the fly. So I think we're still in its infancy, really, and AI overviews are a good positive step in the right direction. From a consumer experience perspective, SEOs may not agree and may not like them, especially if you spent months and thousands of dollars trying to get these top positions, and suddenly you're pushed out, and you now need to start learning and understanding why. But I think from a consumer perspective, I can see how it can produce a better result. But in many ways, it's still antiquated. And the example I give you, I'm looking to buy, I always use lawnmowers for some reason, but a large lawnmower for a garden. I get taken into shopping now. I might get a couple of generative articles and review sites, and then I get shopping ads, a grid of products. I mean, the experience is just horrendous from a consumer perspective, not from an SEO perspective. And yet Google has the large language model, the tools at its disposal to make that filtering based, much better, and a much more like, a cross between. I'm looking for a cross between Google and Tinder, where you go, no, swipe right, don't like that. No, I want to sort by that feature, and it's quick, and I've found the best lawnmower for my large garden. It shouldn't be as hard as then clicking on a product, waiting for the the comparison from the different shops to pop up. So I agree with Erik in terms of it is a small step in the right direction, but I think what it signals is a massive change that is coming over the next couple of years. And I would be surprised if in 2 years' time the SERP looks anything like it does today. And if Google search does, then people will be using something else.
You should stop looking for lawnmowers on Tinder.
But I think to build on the lawnmower example, which I think is a good one. I mean, they showed as well in some demo where they had aggregated user reviews to serve the search intent, and I think that's so fascinating, because who has the best answer around what the best lawnmower for you is? I mean, there's a couple of sides to that, but probably it's the user reviews that someone is saying that you have a lawnmower that's this size and there's hills in it or whatever you're looking for. It's probably not the vendor of the lawnmower or the reseller. It's probably the users who have experienced that lawnmower. And I think that's what we're seeing now. We're shifting to more authenticity and users saying things. So that's why I think we saw some of these Reddit examples, like they pulled in Reddit and it was something someone made up or it was a joke. Like they're striving to get authentic content. And I think in that strive, we have some bumps on the road where people put glue on pizza because someone joked about it. But the path is very clear that they want to go that route.
Do SEOs have to accept that we're now moving to a world where a lot of content will be consumed on the SERP or on AI platforms rather than your own website?
Yes, I'm sure. So we have to do. So I will jump in a little bit earlier.
Sure.
It's what we don't think about. It's at the beginning. Yes, they have a testing phase, and now they're starting. So it will need time, but I'm sure it will be a real good experience for users. Not for SEOs, I'm sure it's not easy, but for users, I think it will be really, really good. And what we don't have said is a lot of people use ad blocker. So if I use an ad blocker and go to the AI overviews, I don't see ads, for example. So I don't see so much shopping ads. I only see what's listing on the sites. So this is also something what people can do. And I think we have to prepare for all of this. So a lot of content, a lot of tests, A/B testing. So I think the whole universe of optimization is open to us right now. So we have to test what works best. And it's now the time to make this. So now we have time to test, okay, what's working, what's not working. And I really believe that Google wants to be an answer machine and not a search machine anymore. And I'm sure they will get the point to be there. So, and I think with all our multimedia content we create for this new area, I think they will go faster to this way. So I'm
so
sure.
Veronika, how do you decide on the right piece of content to be trying to serve for a particular keyword phrase, the right type of media, the right level of answer? How do you go about testing that?
What we have done is we are in the health sector and we have software for doctors, for example. It's one product for us. And what we have done all the years is prepare content for doctors. Long articles, not easy to read, white papers, checklist. I'm from Germany. We love all such text things. So it's crazy. And what we have seen right now with the generation switch and the new search engines, you can create really not really videos, short videos. So now I don't find the word. A short video about, for example, 30 until 90 seconds for a keyword phrase. For example, what is the best software for my breakfast, for example.
Mhm.
And then we have created a video who our customer voice explain why our software is the best in using and shows how we use it in a short form. We have create this ones in long terms and in short terms, and we have tested on cartoon and with real faces, so with real customers and also in cartoon form. And we also test at the moment with Synthesia videos, so AI produced videos. Only we have an avatar, for example, and then we show the software in short frequencies. We also use our podcasts and make short frequencies. And if there's a question who's really relevant, then we make only a video with this answer from these questions. And we also make a lot of infographics. So really clear images with all information. So user only have to click and see all the information. Important is you have the right metadata and you have it fast and you use all platforms, really all platforms, not only your website. Use everything you have, social media, PPC, whatever.
And out of interest, did you find your users preferred human faces or cartoon faces?
This is funny. It's human faces right now. So
Okay.
it had switched. So as we started, it was cartoon. Really, we said okay. Then we have started again on A/B testing, and now it's human faces. So I've got a feeling they want more emotion, getting more.
And
Yeah.
how long do your short, concise videos tend to be?
We have 30 seconds until 60 seconds.
Okay. Brilliant.
On what platform, Veronika?
We use YouTube Shorts and
Okay.
on social,
Instagram.
on social and PPC. We upload this also on our PPC campaigns, and we put it also on the website if it's not too much. So at this point, we choose which we place on the website. So.
And Rana, earlier on, you were talking about the importance of targeting the right keyword phrases. So how do you go about selecting the right keyword phrases to target for AI?
Actually, I see the answer on short-term answer and the long-term answer. In the short term, in order to know what keyword, already, if you have tested the AI overview, you will notice that not every word, not every search will show this AI generated results. So first thing, like for example, when we want to create a video, we will go and test this keyword. If this keyword will show up a video in the results of Google, that means this is a keyword related to videos. So this will encourage us to use to create a video related to these keywords. So it's the same thing for the AI overview, which means I will go take these keywords and look for them on Google and see if there is an AI generated answer. So that's a good start. Of course, I will not choose any keyword. I will choose the best ones, which using the tools, which with the moderated complexity, which will give me, for example, transactional intention for the user. On the long term answer, my answer would be creative, because now we are in a market that's developing. So maybe you believe, you know your work. So if you believe some keywords, some suggestions may have more search later, so why not begin working on them now? So in the short term, try Google AI overviews to see if you have results. And on the long term answer, be creative. And I believe that being more creative will pay its price now. So the more that we can be unique and show that we are different, this will help us to show up better on Google, not only copying the competitors and doing some old stuff related to that.
Brilliant. Can we talk a little bit about measuring success? So, I mean, going back to Laurence. Laurence, do we have to simply count the number of times we appear on the SERP within an AI-driven result as success, as people being exposed to our content and our brand, or are there better ways to do it?
So I do think the measures, traditional measures that SEOs might have used to track success are going to be potentially redundant in very short time if this rolls out fully. So, for example, as SEOs often use SEO visibility metrics and search volume times click-through rate curves, for example. Now, the click-through rate curves are going to go out the window. Google's already said they're not going to share a breakdown of AI overviews in Google Search Console. So we're left to try and model that, which is possible in Google Search Console, which I'm sure we can discuss. But yeah, traditional metrics will go out the window. So I think you'll have to look at a number of different metrics. So first of all, you need to understand where you're ranking today, and then where you're ranking if someone clicks on an AI overview link and expands it. And you'll need to understand what domains and URLs appear in that AI overview, and whether you're placed in them, and what position on the page your organic rankings fall into. And then I think you can, even within that, there's some nuances. You may be ranking, but you may be hidden in the carousel. So if you can know that you're fourth in the carousel for a keyword, just hidden, not visible on the page, a little bit of optimization and tweaking might get you into a really good position on the page for that keyword or keywords. So there's definitely some nuances there. I think you need to understand, lots of different things. So you might look at query reformulation, for example. Google is using a retrieval augmented generation type of search now. So it is taking the original query, as I understand it, and it is embedding that and comparing it. So it's a different kettle of fish, and actually what Google, why the AI results are so different to organic is that Google is giving an additional broader context, and it is returning results from not just your seed query, but a set of related seed queries, and then getting the large language model to summarize those. So I think not enough. We've done some research on query reformulation. I think it's a really important aspect of this to understand exactly what Google's asking. It's almost like an AI prompt. You type into ChatGPT, "Oh, I'm looking for what might a person who is looking for large lawnmowers reasonably might want to know to help their purchase decision?" So I might be looking at petrol versus electric, robustness, different brands, a variety of different things, and the AI overview is giving you some of that additional context. So we need to understand number of appearances in AI overviews, number of appearances where you're hidden, impact on rankings, positive and negative. And the other thing I would also say is really important to understand the generative to organic alignment. So if you look at the top organic results and you look at the top generative results, how close are they? Are the top generative results coming from the top organic results? If they are, great. But if they're not, then you may need to write new content. Your site may not rank because Google's trying to show different type of context to the user, and then that may be a case of digital PR and link building to get placement in those sites. So there is a whole world of new metrics we're just learning about.
No, I fully agree, Laurence. And I think if you sort of extend that line of like where is this all going, I think the keyword rankings and the positions might be under threat if you think about like the better Google gets at serving the right content to the right people, the right content may be different for different people. So if search becomes truly personalized with all the data that Google has, it could challenge the whole sort of current way of operating, which is keyword rankings, because then one keyword ranking could be different from one user to another. So I think it's interesting and thought-provoking to think about, what if everything resets? Like what if all the ways we measure SEO today go away and we have to find another way, which is more about share of voice in the AI overviews? So I think it's an interesting way of thinking about it, and I don't know if that's going to happen or how far that away that could be.
Erik, what does SGE mean for building
well, you could certainly
personal
measure
brand
share of
authority or
voice.
business brand authority?
Sorry, say that again, David.
Sorry, what does SGE mean for building personal brand authority and business brand authority?
I think it will put more emphasis on authority within your space, because we're already seeing things like, well, there are predictions that the crawl budgets will decrease because of all the compute needed with all the AI content, like the flood of new content being created, the rate of which new content is being created, meaning that Google are quicker to assess whether you should be seen or not in your area. So maybe it comes back to, does Google think that you're relevant in the space that you're in? If you're an oil company, maybe you shouldn't be allowed to speak about electric vehicles, or if using another example. So it may come back to, like, what do you have the right to talk about, and how do you sort of build on that? And maybe you should have less content than you have today, because you're talking about 2 or 3 things that are Google doesn't think that it's relevant for you. So
How do you decide on what you have the right to talk about?
well, ultimately, for now, it's Google that decides. But I think it comes back to, like, the relevance, the external relevance that Google thinks you have within certain niches, and external mentions. Someone mentioned, Laurence, you mentioned digital PR, like how you're seen and perceived, and are you seen as an authority, which the old way used to be links, and now it's moving maybe more to social mentions and press and so on. So who knows? I think links are, of course, still a thing, but will it be a thing in the future? Who knows? It's been talked about for like 10 years.
But also content authority. I think Google can.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
I think
the
Google
better
can measure
Google,
who's a content authority. Chunks of the page.
yeah, and that factor will also increase the better Google becomes at assessing how good a piece of content is using the LLMs. So I think you're right, Laurence. I completely agree.
Rana, is there anything you'd like to add to this particular set of thoughts?
I totally agree that I believe the social signals will play a role more and more, because how can Google know that I'm an expert in this domain? It's we do it in the SEO thanks to the backlinks. But now more and more the social signals, the customer feedback will sharpen this and take it to the point. If you have tried, there are many in many blogs they have been discussing that the results in the AI overview is changing quite fast. So if you do the search now and you will do it within some days, maybe you will find the result changing very quickly, more quickly than what we have used to see in the SEO normally on the organic search. So I see that it's still not stable, it's still not clear, and it will need some time to be here. But I believe that it's more and more social signals will play a role. The feedback of the user, if he will stay, if he will go and see the page, then if he will do, for example, if he is looking for something to buy, then I'm one of the results in the AI overview, then he will buy from me. So this will be a great signal. So it's about social signals and about what the customer will do after seeing this website.
Veronika, what are your thoughts on that? Social signals having a significant impact on AI results?
Yes. So this is something what we see or saw also in the last years. If they test something in the search, I think it will be really important, and it's really important to have a holistic digital marketing strategy. So I think the times where we have the channels like social, like PPC, like SEO is over. So if we want to be strong in our brand and strong in our message we want that other people see, so we have to be in a holistic approach. So all channels have to work together to show an app. And for me, I don't measure SEO in click-through rate or how we show an app in the AI overviews. For me, it's only important how much profit do we get from. And for me, it doesn't matter from which channel the profit comes. It's important that we don't lose profit because it's such a strong change in the search. So and then we have to test it. So now we can't say this is the real strategy. So we have to test as much as possible. And I think it's a really great time at the moment.
Lovely. Okay, I'd like to finish up by going around each of our panelists and getting each of your opinions on one thing that SEOs need to do now to get better prepared for AI-driven search results. So if you can have a think about your one thing that SEOs need to do now to get better prepared for AI-driven search results, that would be great, thanks. And then after that, if you just remind the listener, the viewer, who you are and where they can find out more about you. So let's start off with Erik.
Yeah, and I'm a bit biased here because we're building an AI platform, but I think the only way to counter this is by becoming more effective, and I think the only way to become more effective is by applying AI in your work as well. So AI can be applied across the entire process, and I think we will see more of that from the research bit, understanding what the users are searching for at large scale, because the complexity will increase, so you will need AI. And also content creation. I think we are only in the early days of AI content. Where that will go is more amplification rather than recycling, which I think recycling's been the first sort of the first 2 years of AI content has been just repeating the same information that's out there. So and then you could also apply it in other areas of SEO. So I think that's what you should do. You should go out and test some AI tools and see how you can apply AI in your daily work if you're not already doing it.
Brilliant. And where can people find out more about you, Erik?
So it's zupyak.com, so zupyak.com. So you can try our tools completely for free.
Lovely. Well, thanks for coming on. And Laurence, what are your thoughts on one thing that SEOs can do now to get better prepared for AI-driven search results?
Well, probably like Erik, I'm probably a little bit biased, but I think it's general advice is good. We are tracking results already for brands. So I'd say the most ambitious brands and SEO teams are already collecting data on AI overviews for the keywords that they care about, the keywords that are bringing them business today. Yes, it may not have rolled out in France, Germany, Italy, etc. yet, but it's coming. So the earliest you can get an understanding of how Google's implementing it for your sector, the better. And I think you've got to think beyond traditional keywords. You've got to understand that Google is taking your keyword and reformulating that query, and it's giving the large language model a set of documents. So you need to understand, how well the generative results marry up to organic, and also where you're performing in there. And then you need to understand your customers and segment them and do research, and then produce the kind of content that customers want, whether that's short form videos on YouTube, which will work great from some brands, or in-depth articles, or short to the point answers for lots of different topics. So the only way you'll know that is if you start collecting data now to really assess how it's going to impact your brand and your customers.
Thank you, Laurence. And where can people find out more about you?
So if you go to authoritas.com, that's like author, and then itas.com, we're publishing lots of AI overview, SGE research there. So or find me on LinkedIn.
Lovely. And Rana, what are your thoughts?
Actually, I want to highlight that we are lucky to be witnessing this what's going on in the SEO world right now, and to be part of this and to join the journey. So first thing, I'm happy to be here today and to be here in the world today. Then I advise everyone, either he's end user or an agency to be unique. So yes, we should use AI tools, of course. We should try to make everything smarter and quicker. But the more that we are unique today, this will make more impact, because this will touch the customer and this will find a way to take us in the top of the organic and the AI overviews. Another thing, keep always an eye on what's going on. Don't stop learning. It's now the period in which we should keep learning. Everything is changing. Even Google is developing its work day and day and month by month. So keep updated, read everything that's going on, see what others are doing, and keep an eye on your competitors. It's always our secret in SEO. Keep your eyes on competitors. What are they doing? What's going on in the AI overview? Why there are some websites appearing, then disappearing, how they are doing their blogs, what's changing, because it's exactly like every SEO website. It will depend on the niche, on your final customer, and don't hesitate to A/B test everything. Try, because only like that you will be on the AI overview.
I think you sneaked in about 10 different tips there, but all great tips as well. Thank you, Rana. And where can people find you, Rana?
On my LinkedIn page, on Rana Chamsi, and on my website, Expando Digital, Expando. Point Digital. It's my agency, the agency that I have created in Switzerland. So that's it. I'm so glad to have a coffee with everyone. I like coffee.
Thank you, Rana. And Veronika, what would be your key tip that you'd like to share with people about how SEOs can get better prepared for AI search?
Yes, so I'm on the same like my panelists before. So think of your customers, and what I want to add is please think holistic and go work with your departments together, with your freelancer or in-house, if they work on social media or on PPC, if they are not in your house or are other agencies or other freelancers, work with them together, and also work with your UI and UX team. So this change means they want to make it better for users, and sometimes we have only our SEO view, and this is not the right view sometimes. So
Exactly.
be open and profit from the knowledge the other ones has, and then you have a clear branding and a clear strategy and a strong brand. Yes.
No, lovely. Sorry, I just pictured you wearing a t-shirt. Just because I'm an SEO doesn't mean that I'm always right. And people, where can people find you, Veronika?
On LinkedIn, Veronika Höller.
Wonderful. I've been your host, David Bain, and you've been listening to the Majestic SEO panel. If you want to join us next time, sign up at majestic.com/webinars. And of course, check out our other series at SEOin2024.com. In the meantime, bye-bye for now. Thank you.